Thought leadership is about educating and informing your target audience about topics that are really important to your business through the creation of a variety of different forms of content. Sounds a lot like marketing, doesn't it? Because that's really what it is. Thought leadership is really strategic, directed marketing that's not really promoting a specific product or service, but is really helping to shape the conversation around the problem space that those products and services are trying to solve for. Being a thought leader is also one of the weirdest jobs I've ever had the pleasure of having. I was able to speak on main stages around the world. I got to see my work published on corporate blogs and in industry journals. I even have my name on a book that's coming out soon. From a personal growth perspective, being a thought leader is phenomenal. Now, from a business perspective, being able to work directly with customers, inform them, hear what they have to say, learn from them, be able to synthesize that with other information I have, and then turn around and reshare that while also influencing the corporations I'm working for and their products. What a tremendous benefit that's been, not just to me, but to the people I've worked with. It's pretty easy to start up your own thought leadership program. You don't even need to have a whole team of thought leaders. I guarantee you there's more than a handful of people in your company right now, quite possibly the leaders in your company, but also the folks who are the subject matter experts on the front end, who are capable of sharing really interesting knowledge, not specifically about your products and services, but about the problem space that you're solving for through those products and services. The kinds of information that isn't really intended to sell something directly, but to really help influence how your customers think about it and help enhance their day-to-day working capabilities. Starting a thought leadership program in your organization is actually fairly straightforward. You need to identify the people in the organization who have a good amount of industry knowledge and customer experience and are pretty opinionated about a lot of that stuff. And you need to cross that with their ability to be able to communicate that. Now, the thing is, some of those folks who have that knowledge, they may not be the best communicators. A good thought leadership program is going to foster their education on how to properly communicate their ideas. You can do something like set up a Toastmasters group inside your organization or take some writing classes. Some of your business leaders, they're going to be great thought leaders, but also the subject matter experts on the front lines, especially those who work directly with customers and are getting their feedback on a day-to-day basis. In order to activate these thought leaders, you need to create channels for them to be able to share their information in a clear, consistent way without bogging them down. This is where it gets a little scary sometimes. You do want to have control over the message and you want to have control over what they say. But if you put too many editing barriers in place, too much censorship in place, frankly, you might kill the program and you're going to kill any enthusiasm they might have for thought leadership. So you got to be very careful how you structure this and make sure you're giving them enough freedom to be able to share their information with your customers and backing it with the authority of your organization, but also making sure they're sharing the kinds of things that are aligned with your brand and aligned with your messaging. If they choose to create their own thought leadership channels outside of your organization, that should frankly be encouraged. But again, they should be paying attention, you should be paying attention as well, to ensuring they're still speaking professionally and more or less on message, even though sometimes you want to go off message, because that can also generate a lot of interest and really, frankly, it helps bolster your authenticity. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that thought leadership is an investment. It's an investment in time. It's not always an investment in money, but it can be depending on the channels you choose and the kind of processes you put in place. And it may be a while before you start seeing the results. The other thing is, I'm a big metrics guy. I really like to know how I'm doing. I like to see the results of my work. And you want to make sure you're putting key metrics in place early. Depending on the goals of your program, and a good thought leadership program has well-defined goals, you will have to identify the KPIs that help measure how well you're succeeding against those goals. Now, you've been watching these briefing videos. Let's be honest. This is a form of thought leadership. And what is my goal? I think you can figure it out. Very subliminal. As it can often be a marketing function, you might be looking at lead generation. You might be wanting to track the cohort of leads that come through your thought leadership activities to score them appropriately and see how well they convert, become actual customers. Those are like baseline metrics. If you're looking at the number of events that you've been invited to, the number of people who are reading your work, that can give you a better example of the kind of market reach you're having. But really, you need to work closely with your analytics team to identify the key performance indicators that prove that your thought leadership exercises and efforts are actually successful. Here are 3 things to take away when it comes to thought leadership. Thought leadership is about educating and informing your target audiences about topics that are important to your business in order to influence them and to can build additional demand for your services and products while also building your authority in the marketplace. In order to make your thought leaders successful, create channels that will allow them to share their knowledge with the right audiences in a consistent way that's backed with the authority of your organization. As a result, that will give them positive social exposure and really help their career while creating a halo effect around your business. Thought leadership is an investment in time and effort. You need to be patient with it. There's low risk, but the rewards can be tremendous. The best time to start was yesterday or 5 years ago, but the second best time is right now.
Blah, blah, blah.